welcome to today's speed build. So I am building a small cottage inspired by the springtime, which I think is quite funny considering it's actually moving into autumn for me. But as usual, I found an image on Pinterest that I will put somewhere for you. Usually I go off of concept art, but this time I actually went off of like an actual picture, which I don't very often do, so it was interesting. I save quite a lot of the images on my Pinterest, so if anybody is interested I will put that in the description for you so you can have a look at some of the things that I've saved. So I've been trying to like kind of get a rough idea of the shell before I start recording lately, to kind of just speed up the building process. The next video I didn't do that. And I didn't even have an image that I was working from. I just kind of started building, and you know, I don't really know what happened, but I ended up with a build at the end of it, and it's in a style that I think I've done maybe once, so that will be interesting to see. But this one I wanted to build something really cute, and this is probably one of my favorite lots in the game. Definitely Windenburg is my favorite world, but yeah, I think this is probably my favorite lot in the game, which I usually build quite big builds, so this is, you know, odd for it to be my favorite lot when it's so tiny. But yeah, I just think that it's got really nice surroundings, and I like the little pathway that leads up to it. I do wish that the terrain paint on the world actually met up with the lot, but you know, we can work around that, that's fine. But I have put 2 chimneys on this build, even though there's only 1 fireplace, because the left hand side chimney is where the kitchen is, and I thought I've put like the stove next to the where the chimney is, and it made sense to me, so hopefully it makes sense. But we go inside pretty quickly. I think I finished the landscaping first as usual and then go inside. I didn't include any of the floor plan in this because that did take me a while, as it does with most builds, and I'm sure most people probably too. So I originally wanted to go with like a pink and white theme, but I hadn't bought the romantic garden pack. I did buy that today. But I hadn't bought it before, so I didn't really have any of those really nice flowers. And these window boxes, the pink swatch is very bright and not something that I wanted to use, so I kind of had to change my plan on the pink and white theme, and we ended up going with yellow instead, which I think looks really nice. I covered the whole thing in these different ivy pieces and yellow flowers, the climbing plants. I wanted it to look like it had, you know, the cottage had been here for quite a while, and I think the plants growing up the side really kind of emphasize that, and I think it makes it look like it's kind of aged well with nature. And I also like using the different red and green swatches together. I know that's probably more of like an autumn color theme with the red too, but I think it just breaks it up a little bit and I really like it. So I add a couple of these decorations onto the roof. I usually use these on like Victorian style houses, but I think on these little cottages, these Strangerville roof decorations just make it look really cute. I use quite a lot of different packs in this. Mostly I think it's cats and dog seasons and get together, which are probably my 3 like go-to packs. But there's a couple of nifty knitting items and some paranormal stuff items in there too. I don't tend to limit myself very often, which I might, I don't know, I'll try. I will try in the future, but I've never been very good at it. I always kind of think when I'm building, like, oh, where's that item, or like, where's this wallpaper, and then it ends up being in a pack that I'm, you know, not meant to be using, and then I just kind of feel, I don't know, discouraged maybe, because it's not exactly how I want it, but it's a nice challenge, and I do like challenges, so I should probably try. I should at least try. So we are now working on the landscaping. I start adding these little like paving stones, and then I basically put them all the way around the build to create kind of like a side entrance type thing. I size a couple of them up just to make it look a little bit more interesting, but basically this is what I do the whole way around, and it gives me a little bit more of an idea on where I can put landscaping and things. So I really like these like floor flower pieces from Island Living, I think. I didn't actually realize for the longest time that these came in this color. I literally thought it was only the red and the purple. So I really like this. It's kind of white, but it's more of like a really light, maybe lilac-y grey. And I don't know, lately I've been using it instead of the like low-lying bush flower thing that I normally use. I'm not really sure what it's called. But I think this one kind of just gives it a little bit more, I don't know, springtime look to it, because there's so many more flowers and I just can't get enough of flowers. As you can see, I've added quite a lot more of them. I do end up deleting a couple of them a little bit later because I want to add these like lighter green, I don't know what they are, shrubs from Cats and Dogs, and I really like this color swatch, and I think it just gives it a little bit more, I don't know, maybe depth to the colors, and I just think it looks nice. So I add more of the paving slabs underneath this table, and then we go around it with the same plants just to kind of create like a nice border. I didn't really know how to like border the lot off, and this annoyed me. As you can see, like the floor was just, the level just wouldn't level. The floor wouldn't level, and I'm not really sure why, because every time I like clicked off of the terrain tools, it then went like back up in the air again, and it was just, it's very annoying. So like I said, we're just adding some more of these plants around the outside, and I think it just gives it a really nice kind of border effect. The one thing I do wish that we had that we don't have in this game, we had it in The Sims 3, were the debug spawners, and I really would have liked to have added some like bugs and things like butterflies and bees. I know you can size down the like bug display things, but they don't really have the same effect, and they don't move, and you know, when you have to be like pretty zoomed in to see them, and I just, you know, it just didn't make sense for me to do that. It was meant to be a quick build and I didn't have time. But yeah, I really wish we had the spawners, because then they just kind of, you know, the bees can buzz around the flowers, and then you can have some nice butterflies just flying about the place, and I just, you know, one of the things that I wish we had that we don't. So that is pretty much it for the landscaping, which is nice. It's quite simple. So now we move on to the inside. So as you can see, I've kind of already got everything laid out, I suppose. This kitchen, I had trouble with the color scheme because I'd already chosen like the yellow theme for outside, and when it came to in here, I wanted to carry the theme inside too, or like the color scheme inside too, but I really struggled with, you know, what cabinets to use, and I ended up picking these ones because I just liked the look of them, but I did struggle with the color, and I try and kind of fiddle around with the like top cabinets and end up just using this one in the middle and put it either side, but kind of half clip it into the corner cabinets, if that makes sense, like you'll see in just a second. But I wanted to have like a, I don't know, a nice frame for the cooker, and I think this looks nice. It's, I don't know, I like finding different ways of making them look different, like kitchens look different without having to, you know, spend hours trying to do it, and making it look simple so that if anybody wanted to, you know, copy it, then they could. But I basically just add lots of decorations in here. I do leave the counter next to the fridge free, so your Sims can still, you know, prepare food, no problem. I don't think I've ever used these shelves before, but they're base game shelves, and they have that kind of nice old wood effect to them, which I think is really interesting. Quite a lot of the base game furniture has that like shabby chic look to it, which is nice, but I like it not having all like the chips and stuff in it. But you know, I think it still looks nice. So I add this little corkboard, and that's pretty much it for this kitchen. I just kind of rearrange some bits and pieces. And I did have trouble because it kept on clipping into the wall, which is very annoying, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So now we are into like the entryway. I didn't really know what to put in here, I'll be honest. I have my like go-to items that I like to put in hallways, but beyond that, I'm like, well, what do I do now? Like, there was quite a lot of space like in the middle where the beginning of the stairs are, and I thought, oh, I'll just put like a table with like flowers on it or something, but then I'd already put flowers on this table, and then I was like, well, you know, maybe, obviously your Sims aren't going to trip over it, but I thought if there were people in this house or Sims in this house and there's a table right in the middle of the hallway, they're probably going to knock it over or, you know, walk into it or something, so I end up just leaving it. I do project onto my Sims quite a lot, which I don't know if anyone else does that. But I kind of like to look at it as, even though I build a lot of fantasy builds, I try to look at it in a realistic kind of way if I were to live in them. But does that make any sense? Probably not. But you know, I still like my Sims to be able to use the builds, and if anyone wants to download them, then you know, it's easy to either adapt them or just use them as is. So as you can see, we are now into the lounge room. I basically moved these back into the wall because I didn't like the fact that the cupboard door on the right hand bookcase clips into the wall, so we just moved that over just a smidge, just so that it doesn't, you know, look strange. I do really like the wood swatch that those bookcases come in, so like I said, I couldn't decide on what colour I wanted the kitchen, so we end up changing it now to this dark wood. So the only room I haven't included in this is the bathroom. It's literally like a 4-tiled bathroom, so it's very, very tiny and it's very basic. I didn't really know what to include in there because it's obviously built into the roof. It's very tiny, and I kind of just done it off camera because it was just easier for me. So up here is the bedroom and the bathroom. I include like a little table and I think a lamp in the hallway upstairs because again there's no space. I only recently kind of have gone back to using these Strangerville pictures. I've never really used them before because they haven't fitted, you know. It's kind of a very, I don't know, to me, old country kind of look to them. I'm probably wrong, but that's kind of what I think of when I see those pictures. But it's also very, you know, deserty. And most of the country builds that I make aren't in the desert. Like, they're obviously built for the Strangerville world, but I thought I would include it in this one because I'm trying to use things that I haven't used. So you might see a couple things that maybe are a bit odd. But I just, you know, I want to make the most of the different items that we have available and the different styles that we have available too. So even though, like I said, I'm mostly a fantasy builder, I am trying to go out of my comfort zone and create things that I maybe haven't before or have done less of, which I'm hoping you will like. I'm not saying that I'm going to be any good at them, but you know, here's hoping. So I add this little desk in, and I kind of didn't really have a sim in mind for this. Most of my builds, like I said in previous videos, I do create sims for. The sim that you can see out the front occasionally is my real estate sim. So I created her for any build that I kind of didn't really know where I wanted to go with it, and I thought, you know, she's good for, you know, those builds because she can maybe just, I don't know, I can pretend that she's, you know, touring these just to sell them to someone. Maybe I'll create that in a tour on one of my in one of my videos one day. So this is the last video, oh my gosh, last room that you will see on this build, and is the bedroom. So it's, like I said, very small. These tables from Snowy Escape were probably the only ones that were small enough to fit in this room. But I really like this kind of style, and it's just cozy and comfy, and I hope you all like it. So that is pretty much it from me. Thank you so much for watching this video and for all of your support and liking and comments and everything so far. If you are new here, or maybe you haven't subscribed before and you do like my content, I would really appreciate it if you did subscribe, like this video, because it really helps me out, and let me know what you think. So I will see you all again hopefully on Wednesday. So let me know what you think, and I will see you all next time. Bye everyone.